Hello, bonjour, Savan. How are we today? It's Monday. I know what it is. It's May the 19th, 2025, here in southwestern Ontario, Canada, by the beautiful shores of Lake Huron. It is a holiday here in Canada. It's our first big weekend where if we have a cottage or whatever, we go up to the cottage, we open up the cottage. If we have a trailer, we do that with the trailer, whatever. It's a big weekend. Everybody comes north. So all the traffic flows out of the big cities. Everybody goes up north, enjoys their weekend outdoors, camping, or whatever. However, it's a little cool here. and I've been seeing people sitting around the campfires and the bonfires, but with coats and hats and trying to keep warm. Yeah, it's a little cool here. Sun is out today, so that's a first. It's been rather cloudy. So basically, it's typical. We'll deal with it. We have all the clothes, the outdoor weather clothes to handle it. So yeah, we're okay. We're doing okay here. I came on today to go over a topic that Spirit has guided me to come on and talk about. I am having trouble talking. I'm having trouble staying in body. I've been having trouble staying in body more and more and more and more. So over the past, I don't even remember how long now it's been. I may have talked about this previously. But there are days where I just seem to be walking around and it's really hard for me to find the words to express this, but it's like I know I'm in here. I'm aware that I'm in body and I am functioning physically in 3D, everything that I am supposed to do as well as everything I need to do. But there's more of me out there than in here. It's the best way I can explain it. Hopefully, you can understand this or relate to it, even if my words aren't exactly perfect in how I'm trying to explain this frequency. There are times I have found where I've walked right past people when they're saying, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And I walk right by them and I don't even see them. It's not that I don't hear them, because I do hear, but it's like I can't stop and talk with them. It's like, in a way, they're there, but they're not there. So I acknowledge their presence. I kind of sort of can hear them, but I can't see them, and I just keep on going. I think I have offended some people lately. Not intentional, and maybe when I see these people again, I'll have to apologize. It's just a really odd, weird feeling. Just for the record, those of you who don't know me, I do not smoke, I do not toke, I do not drink. I don't have any of those addictions or desires or needs or wants to use anything physical like that to put me into altered states of being. Okay, I don't do any of it. Not the shamanistic way, nothing. I don't do any of it. Okay, spirit connection is the only way. So when I'm seeing and feeling and hearing and understanding that we're shifting into this new cosmic conscious awareness, I'm going to say we're pretty much done with that at this point, because we can actually tell physically now. And I'm hearing it to say, like, when we're not very well. So it's almost, I guess Spirit is saying, it's almost like we feel like we're sick, but we're not. So I'm asking the question, what is this? So we can explain this to you. And I'm hearing it's like a spatial frequency change. It's like when the weather changes. Very first day of the long weekend, it was like summer here. It was ridiculous. I was just sweating outside going for my walk. Next day it dropped and it's like fall. Today it's more like spring. Like we're all over the place. Every day it's different. And that's what it's like now with the frequency shifts in the higher light. We're moving through these ecstatic spheres of higher light. It's cosmic. It's cosmic conscious awareness coming to the fore, F-O-R-E. It's coming to wake us up on the material plane of light. So we're bargaining. It's like we have a bargaining chip now. We have more bargaining power with the universe. We've got more elevated subconscious awareness frequencies going on here in this lower materialistic plane. We have an understanding that we are enjoining with the higher light. We get this, we grasp this. I'm going to read you this. It's a mind transformance of the higher light. So in meditation this morning, I wrote it down when I got up somewhat later. And this is what I kept hearing in meditation. And again, this is a recap. I can't remember all the exact terminology and how it rolls during meditation. But basically, mind is what transforms. So I think maybe we sometimes think the physical body is going to do something or have an overhaul in their alignment or something. I'm really itchy. It's a lot of pollen. It's windy. Pollen's flying around out there today. But it's the mind. So I'm going to read you what I wrote, what I channeled. So the mind is what transforms. You shift your higher light, which we've talked about before, into your lower frequency light, which we've talked about before, and expect differences in the material plane of existence. So in other words, in 3D, in our physical reality here. Okay, so that's what we're doing when the mind is what is doing the transforming. So don't worry about the physicality and like this physical vehicle, okay? It's the thought that transforms, the mind that transforms your line of time. Okay, so expect differences in your outer world, in other words. Like, so when you look out, once your mind shifts and transforms, the thoughts are the key, right? Wisdom is the key. When that happens, expect things to look different in your material world. And then transform that energy. Okay, you shift I'll go over this again, I kind of broke it up there. So shift your higher light into your lower frequency light. Expect differences in the material plane of existence, in our 3D realm, in other words, and then transform that energy. That's the key. It's how we do it. Whether we realize it or not, I never realized that I'm doing it, but I'm doing it, and now I'm giving you the words as to what we're doing. So you feel, now this is where we get into the emotions. The emotional body comes in to play now. So feel the free light frequency of the higher light, and then move towards your new energy frequency. And that's a thought. So you have higher wisdom. You have higher knowledge. There's a knowingness that you have. There's a karmic release that happens through the energy increase. Okay? And that is your final release from the lower mind. Okay? So, excuse me, that is what came through in meditation today, and a lot more. But basically that's it. I'm not hearing anything else from that channeling to go into. I'm hoping that was straightforward enough. Sometimes our 3D mind can't wrap our mind around that. What does that mean? If I'm in a really 3D state of mind, then I look at that and I go, what the hell does that mean? Like, I don't know. When I'm in a higher state of mind, a higher frequency of my higher mind, it's like, well, yeah, like, this is baby talk. So depending on where you're coming from, what level of, one, I'm hearing it as intelligence, because there is just your own intelligence level of the species that you're in here. But there's also a level of internal thought or wisdom. And depending on what stratosphere of light you're resonating in or with, that'll determine your understanding of these here, like outer worlds, inner worlds, technology, higher technology, whatever. It will increase your understanding if you come from a higher flow of energy. Bottom line, it makes you smarter. So things that I didn't even know about before, I just know now. I didn't have to go to school. I didn't have to read a book. I didn't have to Google it. They're neural networks in the brain waves. The transmutation of thought wakes up different key aspects of the brain. So you learn from sustaining, say it again. So you learn from the disdain and the pain, like the lower frequencies of the lower mind, and you transmit that into the higher brain. That gets sustained for a period of time. The wavelengths then become accustomed to it, and then it gets transmuted onto a new higher directional wave timeline of higher thought. So there's a skip and a jump almost to it. We go low, we go lower, we come high, we go lower. So it's like a bridging of the thoughts. So you drop, you're here. Okay, let's say we're here. You drop down for a while. You come back up. Drop down, you stabilize. Come down, go back up. Down, up, down, up, down, up. All the way back into your higher frequency zone of thought. So there is this like stepping forward, and then there's pacing backwards, and then another higher jump in the learning process, and then you recoil a little bit for that to settle in and ground. And then you go through a little bit more. So each time you're destroying that lower level of thought, so you don't have to come from that way of thinking anymore. Remember, we've heard how many times the past does not last. It can't in the quantum reality structure field of light and thought and mind. Mind transforms into wisdom. And there's caring there, there's concern there, there's a light at the end of the tunnel there. There's transmutation there of the higher thought waves into the lower and then back up again. So it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, till you reach that pinnacle point of time where you are now realigned with your higher divine timeline. That is your spatial frequency line of time that you've been aiming for when you first got here, when you first came in here. So all of the lower light gets, as we've heard, rested and digested out. We basically digested out of our system of light. Always got to bring it back to the physical, don't we? So we're not caring enough for the lower line of time if we don't bring it into our higher dimensional third mind of the higher line of time. It's like a splicing of timelines. I think we've heard that word used before. But it's like this genetic transference from the lower to the higher lines of time. It's primed. So it's prime directive line of time. It's the prime directive sign that we're coming into our higher genetic mind. God bless. We give you peace, love, and a new sign. I'm kind of seeing the peace sign from the 60s. Am I doing that right? Align with your higher divine line of time, and you will have peace of mind. In other words. Oh. We're making record timing, is what I'm hearing to say. We're doing good. We're doing good. All right. So encapsulate the should, would, could, and basically get rid of that, because we've already done and been there and back. Back to the Future. This was number 3, the movie number 3, Back to the Future. We've already been there and back several dozen times over several millennia of timelines. So we got this. We already have done it before. We're just going to do it a bit more. So we don't have to go to war. Okay? We don't have to be at war internally or externally for that matter. We don't have to. We can change that alignment in the higher lines of time or higher line of time. Just because it's genetically positioned or propositioned to be a certain way doesn't mean it has to go down the timeline that way. We can switch the codes. They're genetic codes, and they can be switched on or off whenever the heck we feel like it. But you got to know what you're doing. So when you're primed for your prime directive on time, you already know this is a divine line. So it's a separate line of time. It's a separate proposition from the higher mind. Do you want to live in a higher way? Yes, I do. So there you go. Off you go. On that prime directive line of time. On time. And if you don't wish to, it's like, okay, it's gone, done. Bye-bye. Smoke and mirrors. You chose that pathway. You chose that gateway of time. It's not going to be reassigned. It's going to go through the delinquent timeline. And you will express yourself in a less divine way of being, according to your own plan. There is no judgment on man, which is a generic for men and women, okay? We've had past timelines together. You and I, we've all done this before many times. We've done time leaps before. We've done time past regression theory work together. We've done it all. We've got it all done. We've got it all. The market is cornered or something. Anyway, corner the market. That's what I'm hearing. It's all cornered. We got this. We've done it. We've stepped back into our bliss. We've come into bliss, and then we've regurgitated this. So we come and we go. All right? That's part of the energy flow. If you don't like being here, then take it slow. It'll come back eventually. I'm also hearing something to mention just on a personal note, a personal experience. I did go to a dance on the weekend, this last weekend, out of town. So I haven't been to this particular dance for quite a long time. It was last year sometime. Didn't feel the draw or the need to go there. But that changed this weekend, and I went again. Of course, when you're in the ballroom dance group, there's not too many people. You get to know pretty much everybody, everywhere. Small community. So there were the usual dancers there, of course. There were some new people, and then there were the people who kind of aren't group or clique oriented, and they just come in and they're loners. You know, that's the way it is by themselves. And what I found, I didn't expect to have a wonderful time. was basically helping out a friend who wanted to go, and no expectations. Just helping out here. And it was a crazy night. Crazy things happened. Like crazy stuff. But I just rolled with it, went with the flow, and I just found myself laughing all night with all the crazy stuff that I was experiencing. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself, surprisingly. But the biggest difference in what I'm getting to in regards to shifts in frequency and changes in timeline structures and that, is that the people who normally would ask me to dance, the men in other words, did not. But the ones who normally don't ask me to dance did, as well as some newbies. So it was very different for me. It was different energy. So I've been thinking about it, like, why did that happen? Because you can go for years dancing, and the same people will dance with you, and the same people won't dance with you. So why the switch? Inquiring minds want to know. So what I'm getting is that because my frequency light has changed so much from the past, like from last year, in other words, to the present, that these beings from before, whom I used to dance with, they have not altered their course of light. And the ones who normally don't ask me to dance seem to have been progressing. I don't know whether I should go into this depth or not. Should I or shouldn't I? Yeah, complete the thought. Okay, so there are some men who they are loners. They are very different individuals. Let's just put it that way. Okay, they don't dress or look or act or talk or behave like the other type of people who are in the regular, more normal, I'll use that word, take it with a grain of salt, more normal looking, acting, behaving beings. And they're the ones who are stepping forward. I'm actually not too surprised by that, because it's the one who's on their own or thinks for themselves who is able to make the shift without having to stay in the clique. The group dynamic. You have to appear like this, you gotta dress like that, you gotta talk like this and do like that. A little bit harder to come out of that type of controlling frequency. So that's what I noticed, just at a 3D level, at a dance. A very 3D dance, very physically oriented dance. These people are shifting. The public is shifting, whether they realize it or not. And let's face it, most are not aware, but some are coming to their higher light, and they're seeing this. And all of a sudden, instead of not seeing me, they are seeing me now. And that's the difference. And the others who used to be able to see me can no longer see me. I saw people, I'd look at people and I would think, well, I'll say hi or whatever, and they walked right past me like dead in the eyes, like it's like I don't even recognize you. Some of it could have been deliberate, but some of it I felt like, you're no longer in there, are you? Like, where are you? Where did you go? You got so low. I don't know where you went. So yeah, Spirit wanted me to pass that information along to you in case you're viewing it, or to keep an eye out is more like it, what I'm supposed to be transmitting to you is be aware of this. Look at the people around you. Look at the people you're accustomed to. Look at the people you're accustomed to not being with. Watch the changes in their thought processes, because some unexpected people whom you know, it's unexpectedly, will be rising up in their higher light. And then you're going to be able to channel higher light messages between you or amongst you, depending on how many people we're talking about here, where you notice the shift and the difference in their thinking. I'm noticing that in people whom I would never have guessed it. So it's like a roulette game. You just don't know where that little dice is going to fall or die. You don't know. So be aware. Look at the people around you. Look at who they are, because, and I read people. That's what I do, even when I don't want to. The information comes through. I can only stop so much when I'm out and about in 3D. But some of these people who aren't really people, like we talked about the NPCs and the PCs, it's like it's becoming so obvious. I can see you. You're not you. Like, who are you? I used to think you had a mental disorder because, we're trained about mental disorders. So you kind of, you analyze a person, well, they're behaving oddly, so they must have, one of the 10 or how many numbers there are of mental disorders or emotional disorders or trauma experiences as a child. So you kind of hop to that way of thinking when you've had that type of training. And now I'm looking at them going, I don't think you're really there. So it's not a mental disorder or dis-ease within you and the members, the parts of the body. It's just like you were never really there in the first place. So you're like an automaton, or you're like an energy vampire for those around you, or you're like whatever, fill in the blank. You're going to start to see that more easily and more clearly. And it's like the karmic resistance that was there within them as well is being, it's almost like it's being revealed or shown, like they can't hide it anymore. It's becoming transparent. Yeah. So their resistance to the higher light, can be seen more easily. Let's put it that way. They don't really even know why they're here at this point. So there's a lot of, and this is something else too that's being brought to my attention. I'm finding them to be in confusion a lot more. Like they're not, you can see it on their faces, like you say something and it's just like always a confused look, and they have to think about it, and they don't see it, they don't get it, they can't acclimatize to it because they're not there in that thought wave frequency zone. They don't get it. Like it's like you're speaking a different language, and you're speaking the language of light, only it's much higher than their language. So keep on keeping on. Keep on trucking, as we would say here. And field your way through it. So your energy field, your aura, those experiences that you have accumulated over vast numbers of years. Hold that within you and use that as a vehicle of light, a vehicle of thought wave technology for you to understand what others are going through, and then translate that within you. Okay, you have that auric device within you already. It's like a technology feature, and it already knows how to produce wit and charm and all kinds of ways of being. And wit and charm being in a lower way of being, like for manipulation or I'm hearing it's coming in from like a negative connotation, like of trying to have people do what you want them to do through those ways of expression. Like those ways of expression, they're gone now. They can't be used. If they're used by someone, it's not like it can't be seen by everybody. So those users and abusers are going to get their own fill back, like their own karmic retribution. We can put it in those terms. They're going to understand that they're getting payback, but they won't understand from when or from where. In other words, they've done so many misdeeds towards others as well as themselves over the years that they won't even be able to recall what this particular karmic payback was for. If we want to put it in terms of karmic payback, you reap what you sow. They don't understand the mistreatment, how that true justice, I'm seeing it like a wheel of fortune in the tarot deck, tarot cards. It's like you have your highs and your lows. You go through it all. But there is going to be a remembrance spirit coming in to remind them eventually of why they're here and what they're doing and what their expression of guilt has been for and what it's been all about. Yeah. And then they'll slam the door and they'll go back to court. Okay, so then they'll get it, they'll understand it. Okay, I was behaving like this because of that within me, and now, I'm projecting that onto others, so I hurt others as I was hurting myself. Now I get that, and I understand that, and now I'm not going to do that. I'm going to clear that, and then this monkey on my back is now wiped away. The tears are wiped away. The guilt is wiped away. The sanctification is wiped away. I mean, it's all gone. And I'm hearing it in the purple light of dawn. It'll all be gone. Purple light. It's a highlight. It's a spiritual light. So we all learn. We all come back to ourselves in the end, in the cycle. The Wheel of Fortune, the cycle of life and of light. So whatever we've put out, we've accumulated back. Once it comes back and we clear it and we send out justice, true justice, truth, love, and light, and then that's multiplied and it comes back to us. So this is an energetic transference. The higher light calls out the lower light comes back up to its higher presence of light, and it's done. It's complete. The cycle is complete. Yeah, it's done. And then you start your real life. You start your real light cell purpose on this planet and more. You get to go beyond this. You get to try more elsewhere, if you so choose to be of the higher light. Is there anything else? No, that about wraps it up. Okay, well, I'm going to step outside, see if I can work my way through all the weeds in my garden and see what I'm going to decide to keep and what I'm going to decide to not keep. That will be quite a lot of work from what I can see out my window. Lots to be done there. Perfect day to do it. Still too cold to plant in my mind, but we'll see. Anyway, I love you always. Take care of yourselves and others. If you so wish to book an appointment with us, you can go to the website www.healingourenergy.ca and book your appointment there. And I'm going to go. Have a wonderful long weekend if you are in Canada. And if not, what the heck? Enjoy it anyway. All right. Bye for now.